chosen ones. They're 100% sure that you are chosen, hence all eyes are on you now. Many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 2014. If you've ever felt like all eyes are on you without even trying, you're not imagining things. There's something about you that draws attention, a presence that can't be ignored. But why? What is it that makes the chosen ones stand out, even when they're not seeking the spotlight? In today's video, we'll uncover the deeper truth behind this energy and why it's a sign that you're walking in your purpose. Stay tuned, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced this kind of attention without understanding why? Let's dive in. 1. They sense the depth of your purpose. There's something about you, something unspoken yet undeniable, that commands attention the moment you step into a room. It's not loud, it's not boastful, and it's certainly not forced. It's the quiet weight of purpose that rests upon your shoulders, the certainty in your steps, and the way you move through life with an unwavering sense of direction. This presence isn't about the words you speak, nor is it about external validation. It's an energy, a spiritual force that radiates from within, and whether people understand it or not, they feel it. You are not here to drift along with the tide, to merely exist, or to fit into society's mold. You move differently because you are different. Your life is not a series of empty motions or aimless pursuits. It is a journey aligned with something far greater than the mundane routines that consume most. This is what separates you, and this is what makes people take notice. Most people live reactively, responding to life as it happens, fulfilling obligations, and playing roles assigned to them. But you are not merely reacting to what you are creating. You are actively shaping your path, walking with an inner knowing that you are being led by something beyond human comprehension. And this unsettles those who cross your path. There is an unshakable truth in your presence, a spiritual awakening that others can sense even if they cannot fully define it. Some admire it, drawn to the mystery of your purpose, while others find themselves intimidated, because in your presence, they are forced to confront the possibility that they too could be more. Your mere existence acts as a mirror, revealing the depth of their own complacency. And that, my friend, is a powerful thing. This energy of yours doesn't beg for attention, but it commands it. People notice, even if they don't acknowledge it outright. Some will be intrigued, wanting to understand what fuels you, what keeps you so steadfast in a world where so many are lost. Others will feel discomfort because your presence reminds them that they are not walking with the same conviction. You are living proof that there is more to life than the surface-level pursuits that keep most people distracted. And while they may not fully grasp what sets you apart, they can't ignore that something about you is different. It's a spiritual frequency that cannot be mimicked or manufactured. It is the mark of someone who is chosen, someone who is here for something far greater than personal gain or fleeting pleasures. The fact is, when you walk with a deeper purpose, when you operate at a higher frequency, you will attract both admiration and opposition. The world is not always welcoming to those who go off script, who refuse to conform. But that is not a burden you have to bear. Your purpose is not to be understood, nor is it to seek approval. Your mission is to keep moving forward, to stay true to your calling, and to trust that those who are meant to walk alongside you will recognize your path. So let people notice you. Let the whispers happen. The chosen ones were never ignored because they were never meant to fit in. They were meant to rise. If you find this valuable, comment below, "I keep moving forward," as your declaration. 2. Your presence challenges their own identity. Your presence is more powerful than you realize. Without even trying, you disrupt the status quo, stirring something deep within those around you. It's not because you seek attention or force change, it's simply who you are. When you walk into a room, people sense a shift. They might not understand why, but something about you makes them confront parts of themselves they've carefully hidden away. You act as a mirror, reflecting not just their strengths, but also their insecurities, their doubts, and the identities they've constructed for themselves. Some will admire you for your authenticity, drawn to your ability to live in alignment with your truth. They see in you a level of spiritual growth they long for, but haven't yet attained. Others, however, will feel threatened. Your clarity exposes their confusion. Your confidence makes their insecurities undeniable. The masks they wear, the personas they've built to fit into societal expectations, suddenly feel flimsy, and that realization can be unsettling. Have you ever noticed how certain people seem uneasy around you, even if you've done nothing but exist? That's because your presence challenges them on a level they can't articulate. They might react with discomfort, jealousy, or even hostility, not because you've wronged them, but because you represent something they've been avoiding. Truth. Consider a workplace scenario where an employee, always striving for excellence, suddenly finds themselves at odds with co-workers who seem unsettled by their dedication. The individual isn't boastful or seeking superiority. They simply work with integrity and purpose. Yet, this silent commitment to growth makes others uncomfortable because it reminds them of their own complacency. Instead of self-reflection, some may choose resentment, whispering doubts, and spreading negativity. But here's the key lesson. Your light is not meant to be dimmed for the comfort of others. The discomfort you evoke in people is a sign of transformation. Whether they accept it or resist it is their choice, not your burden. True spirituality isn't about fitting into spaces that ask you to shrink. It's about standing firm in who you are, even when that makes others uneasy. Growth, whether spiritual or personal, often begins in discomfort. So ask yourself, are you willing to keep shining, even when it makes others question their own path? Because the world needs more people unafraid to be themselves, to stand in truth, and to inspire growth in ways that words never could. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 3. People expect you to slip, but you keep rising. Have you ever noticed how some people silently hope you'll slip? They may not say it outright, but deep inside, there's a part of them waiting for you to falter. Why? Because your progress shines a light on where they feel stuck. It's uncomfortable for them to see you rising while they remain stagnant. So instead of confronting their own lack of momentum, they find it easier to watch for your downfall. But here's where you break the pattern. You don't stay down. Every setback you face is just another step in your journey, a detour, not a dead end. While others expect you to crumble under pressure, you take failure and turn it into fuel. You don't let obstacles define you. Instead, you redefine them into stepping stones. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you chosen. The world watches, sometimes with admiration, sometimes with silent frustration, because every time they think they've seen the last of you, you come back sharper, wiser, and stronger than before. Think about what the great Winston Churchill once said. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. This is the essence of spiritual wisdom. Understanding that your purpose is not tied to temporary setbacks, but to the resilience and faith you carry within you. When life throws challenges at you, do you see them as reasons to give up or as opportunities to forge your character? The truly chosen know that every challenge is a divine arrangement for a greater comeback. People may expect you to fall, but instead you rise, proving that your strength comes not from external validation, but from the inner knowledge that you were born to be more. Each time you overcome, you force those watching to confront their own limitations. Some people will be inspired, others may be outraged, but either way, you become unmissable. Comment below, "I choose to rise," and let's continue together. 4. You inspire curiosity, but they can't fully figure you out. Ever wondered why people seem so intrigued by you, yet never quite figure you out? It's not just about being private, it's something deeper. You are a spiritual enigma, a chosen one whose presence commands attention without even trying. No matter how much someone observes, how closely they analyze you, they always come up short, left with more questions than answers. It's not because you're hiding anything. Rather, your very essence is layered, complex, and ever-evolving. The more they think they've unraveled your mystery, the more they realize there's more to discover. It's like trying to solve a puzzle that keeps expanding, or reading a book that reveals new chapters long after they thought it was finished. And here's the twist. While they're caught up trying to piece together your nature, you're not even concerned with being understood. Your focus is on your purpose, your spiritual awakening, and the path ahead. You're not here to perform or explain yourself. You're simply living in alignment with your calling. This natural detachment, this effortless authenticity, is precisely what draws people in. Some are intrigued, others are intimidated, but none can ignore you. It's why you stand out in every room, even when you're silent. In today's world, where so many are desperate for attention, validation, and quick labels, you remain an exception. You're not seeking approval, and that alone makes you powerful. Your spiritual presence speaks louder than words, making you unforgettable. And this effect lingers long after you leave. People still ponder who you are, what you think, what drives you. They sense something different about you, but they can't quite articulate it. You are walking proof that true depth cannot be faked or manufactured. This kind of presence isn't always easy to carry. At times you may feel misunderstood or even alienated. But remember, being chosen means walking a unique path, one that not everyone will comprehend. Instead of trying to make yourself more digestible for others, embrace the mystery that makes you who you are. Let your spiritual awakening be your guiding light, and don't shrink to make others comfortable. Some will admire you, others will envy you, but none will forget you. That is the mark of the chosen. Stay true to your purpose, because whether they understand you or not, all eyes will remain on you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights and let's continue this conversation. 5. You radiate an otherworldly calm under pressure. There's something different about you, isn't there? When life throws chaos your way, when the pressure builds, when others around you are losing their grip, you don't break, you remain steady. It's not because your life has been easy, or because you haven't faced struggles. Quite the opposite. You've walked through storms that would have drowned most people, yet here you are, unshaken. This calm, this unexplainable sense of peace you carry, isn't accidental. It's something you've cultivated through experience, through spiritual growth, through battles that forced you to find an anchor deep within yourself. And the truth is, people notice. They watch you. They wonder. While they're spiraling into panic or frustration, they see you standing firm, responding with clarity instead of reacting with emotion. It unnerves them because they're used to seeing others crack under pressure. But with you, there's an unshakable resilience that sets you apart. They can't help but ask themselves, what do they know that I don't? Think about a time when you faced a challenge that should have broken you, but instead, it made you stronger. Maybe you lost a job, went through a heartbreaking betrayal, or faced uncertainty that made others anxious. But instead of collapsing, you moved with faith. You saw the bigger picture, trusted the process, and refused to let fear control you. That's the power of true spirituality. It's not about avoiding hardships. It's about learning to be at peace even in the midst of them. It's why some of the strongest people you'll ever meet aren't the loudest or the most aggressive. They're the ones who've mastered the art of staying grounded no matter what's happening around them. This is what makes you different. This is why all eyes are on you now. People are drawn to that kind of energy because it's rare. They want to know how you do it, how you carry yourself with such confidence and trust in something greater than the immediate storm. But here's a question for you. What is your anchor? What keeps you steady when everything else is shaking? Because the truth is, resilience isn't just about having a strong mind, it's about having a strong spirit. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you are held, guided, and equipped for whatever comes your way. The real test isn't avoiding pressure, but thriving under it. And that's exactly what you do. Your spiritual growth has given you the kind of strength that doesn't need to announce itself. It's seen. And whether people admit it or not, they admire it. Some may envy it, but all of them recognize it. So keep walking in your power, keep standing firm, and remember, your calm is a reflection of the battles you've already won. And if you feel inspired by this message, type "I trust the process" as a way to affirm your strength, patience, and commitment to growth. Let's grow together. 6. Your aura demands respect, not attention. There's something undeniable about you, something that doesn't need to be announced or proven, yet it's impossible to ignore. While the world is full of people chasing attention, working tirelessly to be noticed, you stand apart without even trying. Your aura isn't loud. It doesn't beg for validation or applause. Instead, it carries an unshakable energy, one that naturally commands respect. You don't have to be the one speaking the loudest to be heard. Your presence alone, your unwavering confidence, and the depth of your spiritual wisdom do all the talking. It's not about seeking approval, it never has been. And that's exactly what makes people stop, observe, and even admire you, often without fully understanding why. There's a distinct difference between those who seek attention and those who command respect, and it all comes down to the energy you carry. Attention seekers thrive on external validation, constantly measuring their worth based on how many eyes are on them. But your power is internal, grounded, and independent. You don't need to be seen to feel valuable. Your worth isn't determined by applause. And because you don't crave validation, people are instinctively drawn to you. There's something in your presence that makes them question themselves, not in a way that makes them feel small, but in a way that awakens a deeper reflection within them. When they stand in your presence, they feel the contrast between fleeting attention and true inner strength. They start to wonder, am I truly comfortable with myself? Or have I been seeking validation all along? Your quiet authority forces them to look inward, to examine their own insecurities, and to reconsider what it means to be truly confident. This is why all eyes are on you now, not because you've demanded it, but because your essence makes an impact. Even in a world obsessed with performance, where people measure success by how much they are seen, you remind them that true power doesn't need to announce itself. Think about the greatest leaders, the ones whose influence shaped history. Did Martin Luther King Jr. need to be the loudest person in the room to change the world? Did Mother Teresa seek recognition for her selfless service? As the legendary Bruce Lee once said, "The possession of anything begins in the mind." When you embody confidence without arrogance, when you walk with certainty instead of seeking approval, people take notice even if they can't explain why. So, let me ask you, have you ever felt that unspoken pull from others? That energy that makes people gravitate toward you, even when you're silent? That's not by accident. That's the power of spiritual wisdom, the energy of someone who doesn't need to prove anything, because their very existence speaks for itself. And that, my friend, is why you are unforgettable. Declare today by commenting below, "God is with me," and let that truth sink into your heart. Share this message with someone who might need it, because encouragement multiplies when spoken. 7. You don't seek validation, and they don't understand it. In a world where validation is the currency most people trade in, you are an anomaly, a force that moves through life without seeking approval. While society is addicted to external validation, obsessing over likes, compliments, and nods of agreement, you stand firm, unwavering, and deeply rooted in your own spiritual awakening. This independence unsettles those around you because they can't comprehend how someone could walk with such certainty without needing permission or applause. They watch you closely, perplexed by the unshakable confidence that radiates from within. It's like a puzzle they can't solve because their entire sense of self-worth is built upon the opinions of others. Yet you operate from a completely different blueprint, one that is internal, unshaken, and free. Your self-assurance doesn't come from external praise. It is born from a deep spiritual knowing. You have built your foundation on something far more profound than fleeting opinions, and because of that, the fluctuations of approval or criticism do not move you. To many, this is a foreign concept. They are conditioned to measure themselves against the acceptance of others. And when they encounter someone like you, who walks in their own truth without bending for recognition, it challenges everything they have been taught. It forces them to confront their own insecurities, making them question why they are so dependent on external validation while you remain free. This is why all eyes are on you now. Some watch in admiration, hoping to learn your secret, while others observe with unease, threatened by what they don't understand. Because you don't play by the rules of validation, people may try to test you. They might attempt to bait you, subtly or openly, into seeking their approval, waiting for a reaction, a moment of weakness, anything that proves you still need validation like they do. But you don't flinch. You don't seek their praise, nor are you crushed by their disapproval. This is what makes you magnetic, yet mystifying. There's an undeniable power in someone who is spiritually awakened, someone who operates from a place of inner strength rather than external influence. People are drawn to you because they want what you have: true confidence, unshakable self-worth, and an unwavering sense of purpose. In modern life, where social media feeds are flooded with people clamoring for attention, your ability to stand firm without it makes you extraordinary. While others measure their worth through comments and reactions, you move differently. You are not swayed by the tides of popular opinion because you walk in alignment with something much greater. This is the mark of a chosen one. Your spiritual awakening has freed you from the chains of validation, making you unstoppable. And the truth is, those who watch you, whether in awe or in discomfort, are secretly wondering how they, too, can achieve that same level of liberation. So continue to walk in your truth, undisturbed by the noise, for that is the essence of true power. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 8. They can't read you, and it bothers them. Some people wear their emotions like an open book, revealing their thoughts and intentions without hesitation. But you operate on a different level. You don't hand out pieces of yourself for others to examine, and that unsettles them. In a world where people thrive on predictability, your silence, your depth, and your ability to keep certain things hidden create an aura of mystery they can't crack. They are used to analyzing people, drawing quick conclusions, and feeling like they have a grip on social interactions, but with you, they're left in the dark. And that makes them uncomfortable. Not because you're intentionally playing mind games, but because your spirituality has given you a level of awareness that goes beyond the surface. You understand that not everything deserves to be shared, that real power lies in discernment, and that your spiritual growth depends on what you choose to absorb and what you choose to protect. There's a reason why the strongest people in history, the true leaders, the chosen ones, knew when to speak and when to remain silent. Your ability to control your narrative, to hold back when necessary, and to let your presence do the talking is something that many simply don't understand. Think about someone like Steve Jobs, or even an athlete like Michael Jordan. They were never the loudest in the room, but their silence carried weight. They didn't explain themselves to everyone or constantly seek validation. Their focus, their ability to hold back and strike when the time was right, made them unpredictable. That same energy is what you carry. And because of that, people are drawn to you, but also unsure of how to approach you. They analyze your words, your expressions, your movements, trying to figure you out, trying to predict your next step. But no matter how hard they try, they keep coming up short. Why? Because you don't fit into the mold they've created for everyone else. You are on a different wavelength, one that requires deeper understanding, patience, and a level of perception that most people simply don't have. That's why your presence is both intriguing and intimidating. You make people second-guess themselves, not because you intend to, but because your energy demands it. Your unpredictability forces them to think harder, to question their own assumptions, and to realize that they cannot simply read you like they do with others. But here's the truth. Your silence isn't a defense mechanism. It's a choice. It's power. In a world where people overshare, where many feel the need to prove themselves with words, your ability to remain composed speaks louder than anything you could say. Your depth, your wisdom, your connection to something greater than just surface-level interactions make you different. And being different always attracts attention. So if you ever wonder why all eyes are on you, why people seem both fascinated and frustrated with you, it's because they sense that you are chosen. Not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. The ones who are meant to be part of your journey will respect the depth you bring. The ones who aren't, they'll keep trying to figure you out, only to realize that you are not meant to be easily understood. So the question is, will you continue to embrace this power, or will you try to conform to make others comfortable? Because the truth is, the world doesn't need another open book. It needs more individuals who know the value of mystery, wisdom, and self-awareness. And that, my friend, is what sets you apart. Declare today by commenting below, "God is with me," and let that truth sink into your heart. Share this message with someone who might need it, because encouragement multiplies when spoken. 9. You walk away from control attempts, making them feel powerless. Have you ever noticed how some people thrive on controlling others, expecting them to react, engage, or even resist just to keep the game going? But you're different. When someone tries to manipulate or control you, you don't fall into their trap. You don't argue, you don't defend, and you don't stay to negotiate. Instead, you simply walk away. And that, my friend, is the ultimate power move. Your refusal to engage in their game leaves them standing there, stunned, grasping at thin air because you didn't react the way they expected. They were counting on a fight, on resistance, on some form of struggle because, to them, control only works when the other person plays along. But you don't play. You understand a fundamental truth that many miss. True power isn't in dominating others, it's in mastering yourself. The moment you choose to walk away, you send a silent but unshakable message. No one can control you unless you allow them to. This isn't arrogance, it's spiritual wisdom that few possess. Even the great philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. And that's exactly what you've done. You don't seek validation from those who manipulate, nor do you need approval from those who thrive on control. You are free, and that freedom terrifies them. It's like trying to trap the wind in their hands. No matter how tightly they grasp, you slip right through. But why does this unsettle them so much? Because most people are conditioned to believe that power struggles are a necessary part of relationships, whether in work, friendships, or even family. They expect compliance or resistance, but never indifference. Your calm detachment makes them question everything they know. They were hoping to provoke a reaction, to keep you entangled in their web. But instead, they find themselves standing there, powerless. They wanted control, yet the only thing they achieved was watching you leave without a second thought. And here's the best part. Your ability to walk away doesn't just protect your peace. It reshapes the dynamics of every interaction. Over time, people learn that manipulation won't work on you. If they try to tighten their grip, they'll only push you further away. They begin to see that the only way to be in your presence is to respect your boundaries. And that's rare. That's powerful. That's what sets you apart. So let me ask you, how many times have you stayed in situations that drained you just because you felt obligated to? How often have you let someone else's expectations dictate your choices? What would happen if, starting today, you chose to honor your own peace above all else? Because the truth is, those who truly value you will never need to manipulate you to keep you close. And those who try, well, they'll soon learn that you were never meant to be controlled. If this message speaks to you, take it a step further and share it with someone who might need this reminder. Together, we can build connections rooted in honesty and respect. 10. You expose the pretenses they hide behind. Your presence carries a weight that shakes the very foundations of those who have built their lives on pretense. You don't go around trying to expose anyone, yet your authenticity alone is enough to make the masks fall. In a world where so many move through life hiding behind carefully constructed images, seeking approval, avoiding scrutiny, or masking their insecurities, you come along as a force of truth. Your spiritual awakening has granted you a clarity that most lack, and without even trying, you strip away the layers that others use to shield themselves. People feel as though you see right through them, not because you're prying, but because you refuse to engage in anything superficial. You don't entertain empty words or false bravado, and that shakes people to their core. Those who rely on charm, manipulation, or appearances quickly realize that their usual tricks won't work on you. The moment they interact with you, the weight of their own illusions becomes unbearable. Some will find relief in this, feeling a deep longing for the freedom that comes with truth. They might gravitate toward you, sensing that your presence offers them an opportunity to be real, to let go of the exhausting act they've upheld for so long. Others, however, will feel threatened, defensive, even resentful, because facing their own falseness is too uncomfortable. And yet, this is the power of a spiritually awakened individual. You serve as a mirror, not by judgment, but by simply existing in alignment with your truth. When you are at peace with yourself, when you stand firm in your authenticity, those who are still hiding will either be inspired to do the same or recoil in discomfort. In modern life, where social media highlights curated perfection and most people fear true vulnerability, your presence is a disruption to the norm. The world has trained people to perform, to seek validation rather than truth. But you represent the exact opposite. You remind them that they cannot hide forever, that there is more to life than just keeping up appearances. Your presence alone is a challenge, an invitation to drop the act, to embrace something real. Whether people embrace or resist this exposure, one thing is certain. When they cross paths with you, They will never see themselves the same way again. That is the mark of someone truly chosen, someone walking in the fullness of their calling. So do not shrink yourself or dim your light to make others comfortable. Your authenticity is your power, and in a world starving for truth, you are a rare and necessary force. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights and let's continue this conversation. 11. You embody strength and vulnerability, making you unpredictable. You carry a rare and powerful duality of strength and vulnerability, woven seamlessly into the fabric of who you are. People watch you closely, trying to decipher you, but you remain a mystery. You're not an open book, spilling every emotion and thought for all to read, nor are you a closed one, locked away and untouchable. Instead, you exist in the in-between, where depth and complexity create an undeniable presence. You radiate empathy, offering genuine care and understanding when others need it most. Yet when the moment calls for it, you stand firm, unwavering in your beliefs and boundaries. This balance keeps people on edge because they never know which side of you they'll encounter. Will you be the compassionate listener, or will you be the force that cannot be swayed? That unpredictability is what makes you both intriguing and intimidating. Society tends to categorize people into neat little boxes, either strong and distant, or kind and yielding. But you don't fit into those limitations. You've come to understand that true resilience is not about being unshakable or indifferent. Rather, it's about knowing when to be open and when to guard yourself, when to offer love and when to step away. People struggle to understand you because you challenge their expectations. They assume that kindness means weakness, that softness means submission. But with you, there's always more beneath the surface. The moment someone thinks they have you figured out, you reveal a depth they never anticipated. You're not easily manipulated because you see through intentions with clarity, and you're not easily broken because your spirit is rooted in something deeper. Spirituality, self-awareness, and a profound connection to your own growth. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur, Sophia. She built her career on both compassion and strength, knowing that leadership wasn't just about making tough decisions, but also about listening and understanding the needs of her team. Early on, people mistook her kindness for naivety, thinking they could take advantage of her empathy. But when necessary, she stood her ground, unafraid to enforce boundaries and uphold her vision. Investors, colleagues, and even competitors struggled to place her in a single category. Was she the nurturing mentor or the fierce leader? In reality, she was both, and because of that, she thrived. She became someone who could be both trusted and respected, someone who held power without losing her humanity. So, ask yourself, how often do you let others define you? Do you feel pressured to be either strong or soft instead of embracing both? The world may expect you to be predictable, to fit into an easy label, but real growth comes when you accept the complexity of who you are. Your strength isn't about being untouchable. It's about knowing that even when life challenges you, your core remains unshaken. Your vulnerability isn't about exposing your weaknesses. It's about having the courage to show your true self, but only to those who have earned that right. This balance is your gift, and it's why people can't take their eyes off you. They sense something rare, someone who moves with purpose, who refuses to be defined by one dimension, who walks the path of spiritual growth with both wisdom and heart. And that, above all else, is what sets you apart. And if you feel inspired by this message, type "I trust the process" as a way to affirm your strength, patience, and commitment to growth. Let's grow together. 12. They feel an inexplicable need to compete, but you don't engage. Have you ever noticed how some people feel this undeniable urge to compete with you, even when you're not playing the game? It's as if your very existence challenges them, like they need to prove something not just to you, but to themselves. The truth is, when you carry spiritual wisdom and walk in your purpose, others can sense it, even if they don't understand it. And because they don't understand it, they react in the only way they know how, by trying to outshine you. But here's the thing, you're not even interested in competing. Your journey has never been about comparison. You don't measure your worth by how you stack up against others, because you understand something most people don't. Real success is about alignment, not achievement. It's about walking the path you were chosen for, not proving your value through external validation. This mindset confuses people. They're conditioned to believe that winning is about being better than someone else, but you move differently. You're not looking left or right. You're focused on your own lane, guided by something far greater than competition. And what happens when you refuse to engage? It unsettles them. They expect you to react, to fight for recognition, to seek approval. But instead, you remain steady, calm, and unbothered. Your silence speaks louder than any argument, and your confidence, rooted in something deeper, makes them question everything. It's like the great philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened." Your self-awareness, your inner peace, it's magnetic. People don't just want to beat you. They want to understand what gives you that unshakable presence. But here's the question you must ask yourself. Are you willing to let go of the need to be understood by those who are still playing a game you've already outgrown? Because the more you embrace your path, the more eyes will be on you. And not everyone watching is cheering. Some are just trying to figure out how you're moving so effortlessly while they struggle to keep up. But the chosen ones know. The only competition is who you were yesterday. As a chosen one, your journey is not about seeking approval, but about embracing your unique purpose with confidence and strength. Your presence challenges others to reflect on their own path, and that is a powerful gift. Keep walking boldly, knowing that your light cannot be dimmed. How has your experience as a chosen one shaped your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more insights on living with purpose. The best is yet to come. Stay blessed. Chosen ones, they're all wondering who you are and what you did. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to shine brighter than others, drawing all eyes and leaving others in awe? As Rumi wisely said, "You were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl through life?" Today, we're diving into why you're one of the chosen ones. The ones people can't stop talking about. The ones they're dying to understand. There's something about you that's magnetic, and it's time to embrace it. This isn't just about admiration. This is about stepping into your true power for personal growth and lasting happiness. What do you think sets you apart from the crowd? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's unlock the secrets of your extraordinary journey together. Legends aren't born, they're revealed in silence. The world rarely sees them coming, and when they do, they enter with such quiet power that they leave everyone wondering, who is this person? What makes them different? The most intriguing figures in history, the ones whose influence echoes through time, were never the loudest voices in the room. They didn't demand attention, they simply commanded it with their presence. And that's you, chosen ones. Every time you step into a space, people can't help but stare, whispering, who are they? What have they done to make life seem so effortless? The answer is simple. You have tapped into a level of spiritual strength that few can understand. It's not about being the loudest or the flashiest. It's about mastering the art of subtlety, of carrying an aura that makes people stop and think. This mysterious energy isn't something that can be faked. It's something that flows naturally when you're in tune with your deeper self. The spiritual power of mystery is what sets you apart. Psychological studies reveal that mystery is one of the most magnetic forces that draw people in. Humans are hardwired to seek answers, and when they encounter something they can't easily explain, it triggers an intense desire to know more. People don't just want to understand you, they want to be you. They can feel that you've mastered something they haven't, and that drives them crazy. When you hold back, when you don't give away every detail of who you are, you trigger a longing in others to uncover the secrets that lie beneath the surface. The world is obsessed with the unknown, and you embody it. But this isn't just about playing games or being elusive. It's about maintaining a level of spiritual composure, where you hold your power in such a way that it can't be easily taken from you. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone, because your actions speak louder than words ever could. But those who are drawn to you, those who obsess over you, don't even realize they are witnessing something spiritual. You have something they crave, but it's not just confidence or charm. It's the energy that flows from your being when you align with your true purpose. This alignment makes everything you do appear effortless. It's like a magnetic field, pulling people toward you, making them wonder what it is that makes you so captivating. But this power isn't something you can just switch on. It comes when you understand and embrace your spiritual essence. The moment you let go of the need for external validation and step fully into your own truth, you'll begin to notice that people's fascination with you intensifies. They won't be able to stop thinking about you because you've become a living mystery, a force they can't quite figure out. If you resonate with the quiet power and charismatic presence we talked about today, comment below, "I embrace the mystery within." Step into your power confidently, knowing that you don't have to shout to be heard. Your presence disrupts their narratives. When you step into a room, it's not just your words or actions that shake things up. It's the energy you carry, the spiritual essence you radiate, that effortlessly challenges everything they've come to know and rely on. The world they've created in their minds, the neat little stories they've woven around their lives to create a sense of predictability, control, and safety. All of that crumbles when you show up. You see, they've built their own rules to navigate life rules that help them make sense of things, that help them feel grounded and in charge. But you don't fit into those preordained categories. And that makes them uncomfortable. They're used to a certain rhythm. Leaders, followers, the ones who crave attention, and the ones who shy away. But then there's you. You don't play by their rules. Your presence disrupts their established order because while they may expect certain dynamics to unfold, you're operating on an entirely different level, one they don't fully understand. It's not about competing for control. You don't need to chase power because, without effort, it finds you. You don't seek validation, yet without trying, you command the room. There's a magnetism to you that they can't explain, and the more they try to figure it out, the more confused they become. They wonder, do you even notice the effect you have? In truth, you probably don't. You've spent years honing your ability to read energy, the subtle shifts that happen when you walk into a space. You can feel the room change around you, almost as if time pauses for a moment. But here's the key. You've mastered the art of letting it all unfold naturally. You don't force it, nor do you need to. Your presence alone carries a spiritual weight that they can't deny. They wonder what it is that makes you different. But the answer is simple. You've stopped trying to fit into their boxes. You've stopped playing by their rules. You've transcended the need to seek approval, and in doing so, you've unlocked a kind of power they can't even comprehend. This is the magic of being chosen. It's not about being the loudest or the most dominant, It's about being grounded in who you are. You've reached a place of peace within yourself where you no longer seek the validation of others. You don't need to prove your worth because you already know it. And this quiet confidence, this spiritual essence, throws their whole narrative out of balance. The reason they are drawn to you is not because you're trying to outshine them, but because you are simply being authentically, powerfully, and effortlessly. The more they try to fit you into their world, the more they realize they can't. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole it's not meant to fit. Your energy challenges the very comfort zones of those around you, often in ways they don't fully understand. You are different not in a superficial way, but in the deepest sense. While most people go through life seeking stability, comfort, and predictability, you are a force of change, an embodiment of calm confidence that disrupts everything they thought they knew. Without trying, you shake the very foundation of their reality, forcing them to confront their own limitations. It's not that you set out to unsettle anyone, but simply by existing, you create a space where they are faced with their own doubts and insecurities. The way you carry yourself, so completely unbothered by societal expectations, reveals just how little most people are willing to be themselves. You're not interested in blending in. You've chosen the path of authenticity, and that alone is a challenge to the conformist life most people have settled into. You live as though you are free from the need for approval, free from the shackles of self-doubt, and that freedom is magnetic, even if it makes them uncomfortable. They find themselves inexplicably drawn to you, yet at the same time, they're unsettled by your very presence. It's as if your energy reflects back to them the parts of themselves they've ignored or hidden away, their insecurities, their unfulfilled dreams, the aspects of their character they wish they could change but are too afraid to confront. It's not intentional. It's simply the effect of being in your presence. You mirror to them their own potential, the parts of themselves they long to realize, but which they have been too afraid to pursue. This is the power of spiritual growth. It's not just about changing your life. It's about the ripple effect your growth has on others. You don't need to say a word to make people question their own existence. Your energy, your calm and unwavering confidence, silently challenges them to look within, to question the reality they've built for themselves, and to wonder why they have been settling for less than what they deserve. The more you step into your power, the more they are forced to ask themselves hard questions. Why am I not living to my full potential? Why do I continue to hide behind comfort and predictability? And yet, it is not just the uncomfortable ones who are affected. There are those who will be inspired by your example, those who see in you a reflection of what is possible. To them, you are a beacon of hope, a reminder that growth is possible, that transformation is real. They see you living proof that it's possible to break free from the constraints of fear and doubt and live a life that is true to yourself. To them, you are not a threat, but a guide, a reminder of the spiritual growth they can also achieve. Your presence alone is a testament to the power of authenticity and spiritual growth. You do not need to chase attention or force anyone to change. The way you carry yourself, your unwavering confidence, and your refusal to settle for anything less than your best, speaks volumes. You are a living example that challenges those around you to rise up and become the best versions of themselves, whether they are ready for it or not. If you find it relevant, please like and share with others. Your support helps us continue to create challenging and uplifting content that empowers you to push yourself beyond your comfort zone every day. They are constantly trying to figure you out, to understand the secret behind your strength, but they can't. You have something they don't, something that's drawing them to you, yet they can't quite grasp it. What truly perplexes them is your complete indifference to their opinions. People are used to seeking approval, to chasing after validation, and constantly molding themselves based on what others think. But not you. You don't need anyone's approval to feel good about who you are. Their judgments, their praise, or even their criticisms, none of it affects you. You've built a life that is immune to the fleeting highs and lows that come from external validation. You've tapped into something deeper, the unwavering confidence that comes from knowing who you are at your core. This confidence doesn't fluctuate with the opinions of others because it's not built on their approval. You've freed yourself from the exhausting cycle of needing others to confirm your worth. This clarity, this peace, is what makes you so magnetic, and it's driving them crazy. They can't understand how you can be so unaffected by their opinions. They expect everyone to fit into the same mold, to seek validation and approval from the world around them. But you've completely detached yourself from that narrative. While they're desperately trying to maintain control over how they're perceived, you've embraced a new kind of freedom. You've chosen to break free from the need for external validation, and in doing so, you've found your true power. It's not arrogance, it's simply understanding that your worth is not up for negotiation. Their judgments, whether positive or negative, don't define you. The way they see you doesn't matter. What matters is how you see yourself. You've become an enigma to them, someone who cannot be swayed or controlled, and that's why they are so obsessed with figuring you out. In their eyes, you are different. Your clarity and self-assurance leave them in awe and confusion. They keep wondering how you can stand so tall, so unshaken, in a world that's obsessed with external opinions. What they don't realize is that you've learned something they haven't. True power comes from within. You're not caught up in their game of validation. You're free from their expectations, and that freedom is what makes you irresistible. Your silence is more powerful than their noise. While most people rush to fill every moment with chatter, over-explaining, or desperate attempts to be heard, you remain calm, composed, and deliberate with your words. When you speak, it's measured and purposeful, yet it cuts straight to the core. This silence isn't mere absence of sound. It's a commanding force that unsettles those around you. They can't figure you out, and that's what drives them crazy. In a world full of distractions and constant validation seeking, your ability to remain silent makes you an enigma. They expect you to react, to give them something to hold on to, but you refuse to play their game. Instead, you stand your ground, your demeanor steady and unfazed. Your silence forces them to question themselves. Are you indifferent, judging, or simply too wise to waste words? That uncertainty gnaws at them, and that in itself is a kind of power. You don't need to explain your every move or justify your existence. The value of your silence lies in the fact that it invites introspection. Most people can't handle the discomfort of not knowing what's happening in someone else's mind. They can't deal with the fact that you remain unfazed by their attempts to draw you in. This kind of spiritual strength is rare. It's not about withholding information. It's about preserving your energy for things that truly matter. Your words carry weight, and you understand that not every situation requires a response. The more you hold back, the more they seek to understand you. The more they try to decipher your every gesture, your every expression. And in the end, they realize that they can't control or predict you. This is the power of a man who is in tune with his spiritual self. Your silence is your shield and your sword, cutting through the noise without you ever having to raise your voice. In a world where many are driven by external validation, you stand apart. Your silence reveals a level of self-assurance that others can only envy. You've mastered the art of restraint, knowing that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. This ability to remain still and unshaken in the face of external chaos speaks volumes about your inner peace and spiritual clarity. You don't need to explain your worth to anyone. Your presence alone commands respect, and your silence ensures that you maintain control over your narrative. People will wonder, will speculate, but in the end, they'll never truly understand what makes you tick, and that's exactly how you want it. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how you're standing out and capturing everyone's attention. You were chosen for greatness. Let's unlock your full potential together. They can't help but be drawn to you, not because of anything you've said or done, but simply because of the energy you radiate. Your presence alone has the power to shake them, to make them confront everything they've been avoiding about themselves. It's not intentional, and it's not about you pointing out their flaws. You don't even need to speak a word. Your existence is a reflection of their deepest insecurities. The more they observe you, the more they realize that you represent the version of themselves they wish they could become, but haven't yet found the courage to pursue. It's the quiet confidence you carry with you that disturbs them the most. They see how effortlessly you move through life, unburdened by the things that weigh them down. Your authenticity, your independence, and your spiritual growth all serve as reminders of what they've yet to achieve in their own lives. What truly affects them is not just the way you carry yourself, but how you embody the qualities they yearn for, qualities like inner peace, strength, and unshakable confidence. You have mastered the art of standing firm in your truth, and it's this self-assurance that causes them to question why they haven't done the same. You live unapologetically, and this freedom is contagious. It makes them uneasy because they feel exposed, forced to reckon with the parts of themselves they've been avoiding. And yet, all of this happens without you ever intending to make them uncomfortable. You simply exist as you are, unapologetically true to yourself, and in doing so, you make them question their own choices, their own path, and the very foundation of their existence. In moments like these, it's easy to forget how powerful it is to just be yourself. We often chase approval, seek validation, or try to fit into the molds others create for us. But you, without even trying, are a living testament to the power of embracing who you truly are. It's in your presence that they see what they've been missing in their own lives: the courage to grow spiritually, to evolve beyond their insecurities, and to become the best version of themselves. And while they may feel intimidated, deep down, they're also inspired. They may not say it to your face, but they are drawn to you because you embody the very qualities they wish they could have. The courage, the strength, and the grace to move through life with unshakable confidence. You are an enigma, and it's that very mystery about you that captivates everyone around you. You don't fit the typical molds that others expect you to, and that drives them wild with curiosity. People are used to understanding the world in a predictable, controlled way, but you break every expectation, existing outside the usual boundaries. It's not that you're trying to be mysterious, it's simply who you are. You don't need to announce your presence or make a scene to capture attention. Your calm demeanor and quiet confidence do it for you. Others look at you and wonder how you manage to stay so composed, so unshaken, while still drawing people in. You're not broadcasting your thoughts or your every move, and that only makes them more intrigued. There's an energy about you that they can't pinpoint, can't label, and certainly can't control. The more they try to understand you, the more you remain an unsolved puzzle. They desperately want to know what makes you tick, what drives you, and how you found such peace in a chaotic world. But the truth is, the power lies in your authenticity. You've gone through your own spiritual awakening, a deep understanding of who you are beyond the superficial, and you've let go of the need for external validation. In a world where so many people are seeking approval, trying to fit in or live up to someone else's expectations, you've chosen a different path. You've become comfortable with being yourself, without needing to explain or defend your choices. This is where your true power lies. You don't need anyone's approval because you've already recognized your worth. Your life doesn't need to be an open book for others to read. What's important is that you're living in alignment with your true self, and that in itself is magnetic. It's this unshakable sense of self that makes people constantly wonder, who are they? And how can I be more like that? But you're not holding on to any secrets or hidden knowledge. Your mystery simply comes from the fact that you've embraced your true essence and stopped pretending to be anything else. As you continue on your journey, you'll find that more and more people will be drawn to your energy, eager to understand the depth you carry with you. They'll try to decode you, but they'll never fully succeed because your essence cannot be contained or defined. You are not here to fit into their boxes or live by their rules. Your purpose is much greater than that. The way you live in such a calm, unapologetic way is a testament to your spiritual growth. Your true power lies in your authenticity and your ability to walk through the world with grace while remaining true to yourself. You've become a beacon for others to see what's possible when you live from a place of inner peace and self-awareness. You don't need anyone to understand you because you understand yourself, and that's all that truly matters. Are you ready to embrace your mysterious allure? If so, comment below, "I embrace my enigma," and take the first step towards owning the captivating energy that makes you unforgettable. Your success appears almost too easy to others, as if everything you touch turns into gold. To the outside world, your achievements seem effortless, and your path appears perfectly aligned with prosperity. But what they don't understand is the hidden effort behind your victories. They can't see the sleepless nights, the endless hours of hard work, the sacrifices, and the moments of doubt you faced alone. To them, your success feels like a mystery, an enigma they can't solve. What truly baffles them is your calm composure. You don't boast about your achievements, you don't seek attention or sympathy for your struggles, and you certainly don't flaunt your wins. You simply keep moving forward with unwavering confidence, accomplishing what others can only dream of. This serene confidence makes it look like the universe has been rigged in your favor, as if you've been handed a secret roadmap while everyone else is still trying to find their way. But the truth is, your success is not the result of luck or favoritism. It's the outcome of your own spiritual awakening, your deep connection with purpose, and your relentless discipline. You've earned everything through hard work, resilience, and the wisdom gained from facing life's challenges. You're not the result of chance. You're the result of constant growth, patience, and alignment with your higher self. While some may resent your effortless success, there's also a deep, unspoken admiration. Your journey inspires them, even if they can't fully comprehend the depth of it. The reason your wins seem so effortless is not because life has been easy, but because you've cultivated a mindset that turns obstacles into opportunities. You've embraced a path of growth and resilience, and in doing so, you've become someone who others can't help but notice, someone they wonder about, admire, and may even envy. There's something magnetic about you that others can't quite put their finger on. It's not just your outer success or the way you carry yourself. It's the fact that you're not bound by the rules that govern most people's lives. While everyone else is caught up in the conventional grind, you walk to the beat of your own drum. And it's exactly this that makes you irresistible. You operate on a different level, one that they can't comprehend, and it drives them crazy trying to figure it out. Your ability to thrive, even in the most challenging situations, leaves them in awe. They can't explain how you do it. Every setback you face only seems to fuel your growth, making you more resilient, more independent, and more powerful. What they don't see is the strength behind your success, your deep spiritual connection to something greater than yourself. This unseen force is what enables you to rise above life's difficulties with such ease and grace. They think you've got some secret formula, but the truth is far simpler. You trust in a higher power, and that faith is your foundation. What really fascinates them is the effortless way you navigate life. While others struggle, you glide through challenges, never losing your cool. They can't understand why you're not weighed down by the same worries that plague them. You've become a force of nature, a person who doesn't just survive, but thrives. Not because of circumstance, but because you've tapped into a deeper well of spiritual energy and confidence. It's like you've stepped into a different dimension where the rules of the world no longer apply. And that's why they're obsessed with you. As much as they try, they'll never quite figure you out. They're too caught up in their own limited perspective to see that your success isn't about trying to play by the rules of the world. It's about tapping into a higher calling, one that guides you to greatness in ways they can only dream of. And that's what makes you stand out, not just in their eyes, but in the world at large. Your life is a reflection of what it looks like when someone truly embraces their spiritual power. You don't need external validation or approval. You don't need to conform to what society says you should be. You've found a path that is uniquely yours, and in doing so, you've unlocked a level of freedom and success that is impossible for others to replicate. That's what keeps them guessing, what keeps them hooked. Because deep down, they wish they could break free from their own limitations and tap into the same spiritual power that you possess. But only a few ever will, and that's what makes you so extraordinary. They can't buy your attention, and that frustrates them the most. People who rely on money, status, flattery, and manipulation are used to getting what they want by appealing to others' weaknesses or desires. They throw their wealth or achievements in front of people, hoping to get admiration or control. But when it comes to you, none of that works. Your attention is not for sale, and that makes you a mystery to them. You're not impressed by surface-level achievements, and you don't fall for their emotional games or subtle tactics. While others may be swayed by guilt trips, jealousy-inducing comments, or attempts to trigger emotional reactions, you remain calm, unaffected, and clear-headed. What they don't understand is that it's not that you're cold or indifferent. You've simply learned to value what's real. You've spent time developing an understanding of yourself, your values, and what truly matters. You've cultivated a sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on external validation. Unlike most people, you're not driven by the need to impress or be impressed by others. This comes from a deeper place, what many would call a spiritual awakening. You've tapped into an inner power that allows you to see through the masks people wear, the hidden agendas behind their actions, and the false illusions they try to create. You know that true fulfillment doesn't come from external sources, like money, status, or the approval of others. It comes from within. And that's what drives them crazy. They don't know how to handle someone like you, someone who can't be controlled or influenced by their usual tactics. It's not that they don't try. They will test your boundaries, play on your emotions, and attempt to manipulate your responses. But to you, their tricks fall flat. You've already learned the lesson that what matters most is authenticity, self-respect, and emotional independence. You've realized that true peace comes when you stop chasing validation and start living according to your own standards. This is what makes you different, what makes you stand out, and why they can't understand you. Their frustration is a reflection of your strength. The more they try, the more you remain unaffected, and the more they become curious, desperate to understand what makes you tick. They can't control you, and that drives them crazy. But what they don't realize is that you're not playing their game, you've already won, because you've learned that the only person you need to impress is yourself. As you can see, the world is watching and wondering what makes you so special. You've been chosen, and your light is undeniable. They can't help but be drawn to you, curious about what you did to reach this level of greatness. Remember, your journey is unique, and your power is real. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more powerful insights. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos that are designed to elevate your life. Stay blessed and keep shining.